Hi, I'm Shirley, a technical account lead with MacStadium. And today we wanted to do a quick video to demonstrate just how easy it is to enable hardware-assisted virtualization, otherwise known as nested virtualization, inside of VMware VMs on MacStadium hardware. So let's take a look. So here we have a MacStadium VMware test cluster that we're already logged into. And what we're going to do is demonstrate how you would set up a VM for the first time and the flags you need to throw to enable the nested virtualization. So how we're going to do that is we're going to clone this VM that we already have running. But you can, of course, start from scratch. It's a very simple configuration setup. And we want to call this test2 for Docker. And we're going to place this inside this Mac Pro cluster. We want the data store on the SAN. So only two things you need to check here, customize operating system and customize VM hardware. First, we want to make sure that we are in fact set for macOS VMware setup. And next is the important bit with regard to the CPU setup. So if you click on the caret and drop the CPU menu down, there are two settings relevant to this. And the most important one here is hardware virtualization. Now, this exposes the hardware-assisted virtualization to the guest OS and allows for that nesting to occur. The second is performance counters, which are not required, but we'll leave them on here just as a default. So we're not going to deploy this machine because we already have one running over here in test1 Docker. So as you'll see, once you deploy your VM that you intend to run nested in, you'll boot to the desktop just like any other VM, and you'll need to install Docker for Mac, as you'll see, which you can pull from the Docker Hub, download the DMG, and you'll see we already have Docker Desktop installed right here. So we tend to be command line folks around here. So we're going to jump into terminal. And we're going to run a Docker pull hello world, which the image is already up to date because we tested this out first. And of course, Docker run hello. And hello from Docker. Yeah, so there's your, that's the gist of it. It's just making sure that one setting is enabled for the nested virtualization. As you can see, this is a pretty standard, fairly potent two core and 16 gig RAM machine. So anything that you could run in Docker, you could now run inside this VM and get started with utilizing virtualization in, nested virtualization in your own pipelines. Please, as always, let us know if you have any questions for anyone at MacStadium. We'd be glad to help. Thanks.